آیکاکاس آیکاکاس اینها گویا شمار زیادی عضو دارن. این تشکیل تقریبا میشه گفت که به زبان فارسی میشه فراکسیون یا جناح یا جناحبندی های انتخاباتی. در انگلیسی به گروه اطلاق میشه، گروهی از رهبران حزب که برنامه ریزی میکنن سیاست های احزاب رو پیشاپیش. در ایالات متحده آمریکا به گروه های اطلاق میشه که اینا تشکیل میشن، تمام شخصیت های سیاسی، اجتماعی، فرهنگی، اقتصادی هستن، برای تعیین نمایندگانی که قراره به مجلس برند برنامه ریزی میکنن برای احزاب از این قبیل. جالب، برای نخستین بار یک گروه آمریکایی اعلام کرده که مسبب اصلیه تمام این اتفاقاتی که امروز در خاورمیانه داره میفته و تمام حوادث و فجایعی که تو این 3 دهه رخ داده، شخص جیمی کارتر و سیاست های او که در واقع منافع ملی آمریکا رو به خطر انداخت و آمریکا رو از یکی از متحدان خودش محروم کرد، یعنی رژیم پادشاهی در گذشته، و باعث ویرانی در ایران شد. این گروه جالبه که آرمی که انتخاب کرده برای برنامه‌های خودش چیه؟ درفش کاویانیه. درفش کاویانی در کنار پرچم آمریکا. من هیچ شناختی از این گروه ندارم، هیچ شناختی، و شعاری هم که انتخاب کردن فری ایرانه. میگن ما آمدیم که از ملت ایران حمایت و پشتیبانی بکنیم، از اونها مسخایی میکنیم، و بعد هم در پی این هستن که درباره جیمی کارتر دست به اقدامات اساسی و توجیهی بزنن و به مردم آمریکا بگن که در جریان انقلاب در ایران که کارتر باعث بانیش بوده، آمریکایی ها چه میزان متضرر شدن و زیان دیدن. اجازه که با هم نگاه بکنیم این بیانیه رو.
The following statement was voted on by 85% of Icaucus members. Icaucus is a citizen-led organization, and we vote before we release anything. On a personal note, the reason why I'm doing this video is I believe in what Ronald Reagan said of the shining city on the hill. All societies throughout the world should be able to be that shining city. I think the world would have more peace if we were competing as societies in order to be the shining city and competing of who has more freedom in a society with economics bustling everywhere. To the people of Iran, in the spirit of President Ronald Reagan, we members and associates of Icaucus would like to send a message of support and a long overdue apology to the Iranian people. Since Iran is currently being used to curtail our freedoms and the disinformation continues, we felt this was the time to ensure the Iranian people to hear from the American people. President Reagan said in his debate against Walter Mondale, "I did criticize President Carter because of our undercutting of what was a stalwart ally, the Shah of Iran. And I'm not all that convinced that he was that far out of line with his people or they wanted that to happen. The Shah had done our bidding in the Middle East and carried the load for quite some time. And that was a blot on our record that we let him down. Have things gotten better? The Shah, whatever he might have done, was building low-cost housing, had taken land away from the mullahs, and was distributing it to the peasants so they could be landowners. Things of that kind. But we turned it over to a maniacal fanatic who has slaughtered thousands and thousands of people, calling it executions. We recognize that you are fighting for your rights to be free again, to have liberty and freedom. We understand that our government not only reneged on standing with you, but has backed the mullahs. Please know this stance is not representative of the majority of American people's wishes. We know your country is under occupation and that your president is handpicked by the supreme leader who himself comes from unknown origins and is busy robbing you of your vast wealth, liberty, and freedom. Iran is being sold to shadowy business interests and the respective governments via these mullahs. Just as ours is, it is time to return the power back to the Iranian people. Just as we are fighting to save ours, In the spirit of cooperation, we would like to inform you that our current politicians have no intention of creating regime change. On the contrary, they are supporting and backing the mullahs. We understand how closely your struggle to be free and our struggle to keep from losing our freedoms are tied together. We have full understanding how the leftist Carter administration brought about the fall of the Shah's government and plunged the region into chaos. Until the world sets the record straight, we know the region and the rest of the world will not find peace again. Even though the truth was hidden from us at that time, it is time to tell the world the truth in support of you. Only by acknowledging this can we start to open a true dialogue that would expose the lies and the matrix that has been created by the left-wing media that have brought much of the world into decades of war. President Jimmy Carter went from calling the Shah an island of stability to transferring $150 million into Ayatollah Khomeini's bank account to jumpstart the Islamic Republic while he was still in France. This caused the death and torture of millions of Iranian people. We would like to formally apologize for what some leftists in our government have done to your people. Many governments around the world have benefited and continue to benefit from the state of affairs despite the tragic destruction of life and property that has been perpetrated on your people. Those of us who had been to Iran before the revolution witnessed unprecedented economic growth that has not been matched in any nation since that time, only to see it reverse under the current regime. We recognize the wrong that was done to you, stand with you, and pray for those who would restore Iran to her former glory.
جالبه همینانه. میگم من هیچ شناختی ندارم و اولین بار متوجه شدم گروه آمریکایی این همه و هدف رو گذاشتن روی نجات ایران، بازگرداندن ایران به دوران تابناکش و بعد عذرخواهی از مردم ایران به خاطر اشتباهاتی که دستگاه سیاستگذاری در آمریکا نسبت به ایران مرتکب شد و سیاست‌های ایران برباده باعث شد که این جزیره ثبات تبدیل شد سرزمین کشتارها و اعدام‌ها و شکنجه‌ها و از این قبیل. خیلی جالب. در حال باید ببینیم اینا کی هست. اجازه بدید در این قسمت در برنامه برم به